Greetings, my name is Carrie Konyha, and in this video I'm going to be sharing personal growth empowerment practices that we can all work with throughout this entire lunar cycle, beginning with the new moon that happens on February 11th, 2021. To start with, I'm going to share some information surrounding the traditions of this particular lunation, and then I'm going to get into some details regarding specific personal growth empowerment practices that we can do in alignment with the energies of now to support our goals, dreams in manifesting. First, I'm going to start by saying that the word February in and of itself means to purify. So the idea of purification is very much an integral theme of the energies that are opening up to us right now, as we are also experiencing a deep quickening of life force energy. Literally, we have made it beyond the halfway point between winter and spring now. Spring is only about 5 weeks away, and we literally are experiencing a quickening of life force energy agriculturally, right? So plants are beginning to germinate deep under the ground in the earth. There's new life being sprung into being, and we are equally as influenced by that same energy. We are also being compelled inwardly to spring into being, right? So the purification aspect of this lunar cycle that we're in right now really is meant to support us in clearing away anything that could possibly obstruct our growth in moving forward. You can use the analogy of preparing the soil in your garden to plant seeds so that they can germinate, grow, bloom, blossom, bear fruit. We are in similar processes right now. And a way that we can utilize this energy of purification is through the awareness and concept of self-development. Self-development is very connected to the energies that are happening right now because it's what enables us to grow. In some native traditions, this particular new moon that happens this February 11th, 2021 is called the Wisdom Keeper. And that's because this energy inspires us and supports us in cultivating our own inner wisdom. Wisdom comes from a marriage of knowledge and experience. One of the number one empowerment practices that we can do this lunar cycle is to cultivate our ability to be present and mindful. Mindfulness practices, which means being in the here and now, having our presence anchored in the here and now, where we're very aware of what's going on internally within us as we're moving through life. And we're doing that without judgment, in a space of compassionate, loving kindness. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this aspect in this week's Tarot for the Soul that I'm going to upload next, but I do want to say here that this particular new moon brings with it a really amazing astrological alignment where we have 6 celestial bodies in the sign of Aquarius. So we have both the sun and the moon in Aquarius, in addition to Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn, all relatively coming into a conjunction, an alignment. And the Aquarian energy is very innovative. It inspires imagination, inventiveness, creativity, leading edge thinking. This is a time where we can really gain a broader perspective for ourselves, really gain a sense of clarity about what our bigger picture intentions are. So on one level, this is a time where we're all feeling a little bit of a renewed ambitiousness. However, it's gonna come with some angst, and that's because there are some challenging aspects happening with Black Moon Lilith right now, which represents our deep unconscious desires, which can be connected to our shadow self. In last week's Tarot for the Soul, I talked a little bit about this because it was starting to come into focus last week, and we're still working with these energies right now. So don't be surprised as we're coming into this first quarter of this new moon cycle, if you're feeling a little bit conflicted, where on one level you feel exuberant and excited at the possibilities and you're gaining inspirations, new ideas, ready to leap into action. But then there's this, well, hey, wait. More than likely there's going to be, little triggers happening within us around the possible setbacks. What's blocking me? What's going on in my life that I don't feel aligned with? And that's where that angst energy comes in. However, this energy of purification that the February new moon brings us is really coming at an optimum time, because we have the capabilities now to really leverage both of these sort of opposite extreme energies in ways that do enable us to cultivate self-awareness, growth, expansion, moving beyond what has felt like obstacles or roadblocks, so that we can begin to feel like we're really getting some positive energy flowing in the direction of our intentions. Now, empowerment practices for February are very much aligned with intentions and personal ceremonies that are rooted in themes around expansion and growth. However, we have to address this shadowy energy that's still coming up. The best way to do that is to allow yourself to be really present and aware of what's being triggered within you, because remember that our triggers are always showing us where our soul growth work is, and that our soul growth work is typically connected to where we have unintegrated aspects of ourselves. It can be old wounds, it can be old traumas, but it can also be aspects of our desires, our hopes, our dreams, that we haven't really allowed ourselves to fully have a voice, that we've been keeping in the background, that we've been avoiding or disowning. These are the types of shadow aspects that are coming up right now. Honestly, the best practices that we can do throughout this lunar cycle that are specifically aligned with being able to really integrate those shadowy aspects is movement-oriented practices. We really want to allow ourselves to get some physical movement going on, whether it's yoga or hiking or Tai Chi, Qigong, whatever. My best recommendation, honestly, would be any type of conscious dance practice. Free spirit dancing. Dancing with the intention of allowing those shadowy aspects a space in which to express so that they can integrate. We're really talking about spiritual alchemy here, and we can see alchemy as being an art that we can gain proficiency with only when we are allowing ourselves to be completely present, having our presence completely anchored in the here and now with awareness. So that's really step one, having your presence anchored in the here and now with awareness, being aware of what your goals, your hopes, and dreams are, and being aware of those shadowy aspects, the aspects of you that are maybe seeing into what maybe is interfering or being an obstacle or a block to you fully realizing and manifesting and experiencing your biggest hopes and dreams. The best way to be able to move through that angst that comes up is through being completely present with it, acknowledging it, and giving it a voice, right? So movement, dance is a really good creative shamanic modality, a positive practice that enables those aspects as space to express. But you could also do it through journaling and things like that. In the very least, as you're becoming aware of your own angst energies that are coming up this month, ask those aspects of yourself, what do you need in order to feel empowered? And then do those things. Ask yourself, how can I show up for myself even more? this month? How can I recommit to what my bigger goals and dreams are? What am I feeling guided to initiate, activate, and let yourself literally begin dedicating your focus, your attention in those directions. This lunar cycle beginning with the new moon on February 11th is perfectly suited for us reclaiming our will. And the way that we reclaim our will is by being dedicated to saying yes to the things that feel most authentically aligned with our true soul nature, reclaiming our ability to guide ourselves forward in alignment with our authentic goals and dreams, and clearing away, purging, purifying your life of anything that doesn't feel aligned with you right now on all levels. We really can only do this when we can be in a space of authentic presence, which means we're not preoccupied with the past or the future. We're just being present in the here and now, recognizing what our biggest ambitions, goals, and dreams are, and having the self-awareness around what might be going on within you on emotional or mental levels that are feeding a story around obstacles, blocks, and limitations. Those are the things that we want to clear. I'm going to talk a little bit more about these dynamics in addition to sharing some channeled insights for this first quarter of this new moon phase that we're moving into now. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in this week's Tarot for the Soul that I'm uploading next, so stay tuned for that. And I encourage all of you who feel guided to really dive into these empowerment practices so that you can see for yourself through the experience how when we live in alignment with these energies, genuinely all of our efforts produce the best results. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap it up there, but I will see you in the next video. Blessings. Namaste.